lovely people, how you doing? Just wanted to have a quick chat with you today about how to host a teacher, how to host a dance teacher. If you're thinking of creating like a workshop or creating something like a festival, something like that, I know for myself as a new teacher, I had a lot of questions. You know, what is it you're responsible for? What do you do? What do you pay? When do you pay? How do you pay? All of these things. So let's get started. Let's jump right in. If you haven't been here before, welcome. My name is Julia Stoiber and I talk about all things fat chance belly dance. I absolutely love it. If you're returning here, welcome back. Lovely to see you guys again. Feel free to like, subscribe, all the lovely things. I would love you to. It would make my day. So let's jump right in. Right, so one of the first things that I asked is what am I responsible for? What is it that I should pay? And like, who pays it? How do we pay it? So in our case, I run what is known in Austria is a Verein, and this is essentially a club. And the club fees will definitely support some of, the festival fees. I'm aware that things are pretty tight at the moment. A lot of people are feeling the pinch with the cost of living crisis. In our case, we're running Skills and Zills Festival in August, and we're trying to keep the costs as low as possible for everybody while making sure that obviously the teachers get paid properly. That's a bit of a nightmare thing, I think, for everybody who runs a festival, is making sure that you cover your costs while keeping it low enough to attract potential people coming to your festival. How to make your festival attractive for someone to come to is a whole different theme, but essentially I love hosting people. I love taking care of people, and that will also be part of what we talk about later on when we discuss guest rooms and the like. It's my favourite. I'm getting excited already. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about travel expenses. That's one of the first things. So it could be you're hosting someone from your own country, but in Austria this is unlikely for us because it's only us. So yeah, if we want somebody else to dance with, either we have to travel or we need to pay for them to come to us, or hopefully people visit us anyway because they like to see us. So if we're asking them or inviting them to come to us, we've got a couple of options for them to get to us, and of course these are your bog standard plane, train, automobile, So yes, you're responsible for their flights, you're responsible for their taxis to and from airports if you're not picking them up yourself, you're responsible for their train tickets, you organise it, you book the flights most likely, check it with them first, ask them how they would like to travel, and if they have a preference for an airline. Some teachers, believe it or not, actually have airlines that they just don't want to travel on, and you need to know. Make sure before you host somebody that you get their contract and you read it through. Read it through, but don't let it frighten you. A lot of these contracts, of course, are going to be written in what looks like very legal language, but that's for their protection and for your protection. It just keeps everybody, legal and safe and okay, and everyone knows where they are. Dancers are normal people, teachers are normal people. Talk to them, if you've got any questions. They will most likely have been hosted before, and they will know maybe where they can be flexible, if they can be flexible. It might be that they're okay booking their own flight or ticket because they know what is easiest for them and what they prefer, and then you just pay it. Or It might be that they prefer you to take on that admin stuff, so you have to do it and pay for it and make sure that they know where it is they need to be and when in order to get to you. Right now, of course, flights and airports are a little bit of a nightmare, so yeah, something, I guess my tip here would be, if you can get some kind of flexi ticket or whatever, make sure you go for that, just in case, just in case they need to get the next flight or something instead. You never know. I guess little things like that I probably get from my husband, because he does a lot of business travel, and I often hear of him being stuck at an airport, or a flight has been delayed or cancelled, So that's one thing. Yeah, train tickets, make sure you know where to pick them up at the train station, or make sure that you've got a taxi or an Uber ready for them if they need it, or maybe they want to organise that themselves and then you need to reimburse that money. Very often with like really international, like top teachers, sometimes you'll have to send a deposit beforehand. If you have to do that, it might be you have to pay that out of your own money and then recuperate that through your students' charges that come to the festival. We all want as many students as possible to come to our festivals. We all want to dance with loads of people and just have a stonking time with everybody. So yeah, do you pick them up at the airport or at the train station? I mean, that depends. Some people don't want to see your face straight away after a 12-hour flight or 6-hour flight, whatever. Some people would rather just get a taxi, go to their hotel room and, relax and have some downtime before they meet you. Some people would prefer to be picked up and pampered a little bit, and maybe you go out for an evening meal with them. Get to know them. Like, it could be that you've not met them before when you're hosting them, and they would like to get to know your city a little bit, and they don't want to do that alone. They're not going to know anybody else in that city apart from you, most likely. So I think it would be the friendly thing to do, to offer, would you like to go for an evening meal? Would you like to spend some time with me? But don't feel that, you're pressured to do that. So find out what they want. In terms of picking them up from the airport or train station and what have you. For example, in Linz, like, most people wouldn't fly to Linz per se. Most people would fly to Vienna, possibly Salzburg, in my case. In terms of Vienna, there's a really super speed, like high speed train, which would be much faster and way more convenient than a car, like than me picking somebody up. And it goes directly from the airport. So not only does it save my driving time, it's more comfortable and convenient for the person flying in. It's faster. It's pretty much the same as the petrol that I would use going there and back again anyway, in terms of ticket prices. Yeah, and like I said, it goes directly from the airport. So if somebody's flying into Vienna, I would suggest that they go directly on the train from Vienna to Linz, and then I would pick them up from Linz, because where I live is about a half an hour away drive from Linz. I drive from Linz up into the hills, into the Mühlviertel, as we call it. It's a beautiful region. It's a beautiful drive up, and you get to see some gorgeous Austrian scenery. But still, it's much easier for me to pick somebody up from Linz, and it still makes somebody feel like they're being pampered and looked after, if that is what they would like to have. Everyone's different, communicate. So that's one of the first things. Yes, you're responsible for the fees, and find out from them if they would like to be picked up or not. Next thing, accommodation. Well, you've got Airbnb, Booking.com, where you can book apartments, hotels, and the like. Are they okay staying in an apartment with a team of teachers if you've got a teacher team coming? Or are they like okay staying in a hotel? Do they want to stay in a hotel? Do they have a preference for how many stars that hotel is, or the type of room that they like to be in? Ask. Most likely it will be in the contract, you know. Some people are absolutely okay to be hosted, you know, in your own home, and if that's the case, make sure that you've got clean, comfortable guest room or a clean, quiet room where they can be. But we'll be going into that in the next video, how to prepare a guest room at your own home for a dance teacher to come and stay with you. And yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun because I am really over the top and I love making like guests feel super special and happy and looked after. So I'm really super excited to share that with you. So what else was I asking my teachers? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was asking about the travel, the accommodation. When do you pay? Well, like I said, most people would like a deposit. Sometimes that's non-refundable, sometimes it is refundable, sometimes it's refundable up until a few weeks before the festival, and then after that it's too late for them to change their plans, and therefore you know, they keep that deposit, which is all well and good. That's absolutely fair. What else? So yeah, it could be that you pay a deposit and the rest, depending on the split or the percentage or the hourly rate that they want, that they will state in their contract, you will work that out then after the festival, like shortly after, and make sure they get paid promptly, of course. With PayPal these days, it's instantaneous, you know, it's not difficult to do that. Just be really, really aware of bank transfers and the like, you know. Activities while they're here, you know, maybe you can find a couple of things in your area for them to do, and let them know, you know, you're happy to join them, or you're happy to leave them to their own devices and go and explore on their own. Again, talk to them, let them know, you know, you're happy to look after, or you're also happy to give space. Find out what they want. Not everybody is a people person, and some people have enough, you know, during the festival with the energy of people there, and then need their introvert time afterwards. So just be respectful and communicate and ask and figure out what they want. Food. So the next thing is food. You are responsible for feeding your teachers when they come to you. So how do you know? Well, ask them, do they have any dietary requirements? So, well, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but more frequently these days you will find people who are vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or have allergies, intolerances. Find out beforehand, but don't let it freak you out. The people who have these diets, they know what they normally like to eat and what they normally do. If they need to, you know, carry an EpiPen or whatever, you're not going to be responsible for like buying an EpiPen or anything like that, you know. But if a vegan is, for example, coming to visit you, they will be more than happy if you supply some kind of like oat milk or soy milk or whatever their favourite plant-based milk is, you know, so that they can get some kind of breakfast or coffee with their milk in or whatever. There's nothing worse than being vegan and going to a restaurant and there's nothing there for you. It's happening less and less these days, but it does happen. So as a host, if you're going to a restaurant, make sure it caters for your teacher's dietary requirements. And most restaurants, like if you can phone ahead and say, hey, you know, do you have a vegan menu? You've got a vegetarian menu, most people would have these days. Do you cater to low FODMAP, for example? Can you do gluten-free? There's quite a few restaurants these days, you know, that will have some kind of dish at least for most intolerances or whatever. In Austria, for example, it's a legality and it's law that they have to write what is in a dish, as in, you know, does it have nuts in, or does it have lactose, or all the usual things like peanuts or whatever that people can be intolerant to or allergic to. Yeah, so just be aware and try to cater, if you can, to your teacher. Yeah, in my case, I'm vegan. I'm not trying to put it onto anybody else, but I'm vegan, and like, I am more than happy if somebody provides me with some kind of plant-based milk, or maybe points me in the direction even of, you know, vegan-friendly restaurants. It just a little bit goes a long way. A little bit of kindness goes a long way, and thinking about what might make people feel more comfortable. What would you like, you know, if you were going to a strange place and you didn't know where to get everything, right? What else? We've covered travel, we've covered accommodation, we've covered food, we've covered when you pay, how you pay. So that's already quite a lot. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed chatting with you guys. Put in the comments below if you've got any little ideas or anything that you would like to add. I would love to hear what you guys would like to say and add. Not that your ideas are little, but have you got any? Ignore me. Having a moment, whatever. Yeah, if you've got any ideas or anything that you would like to say or add in this theme, you know, about picking people up or not picking people up, or what you've experienced before. I've heard some horror stories about people being left to their own devices, and, you know, it's not good, people. It's not good. Don't do it. Like, look after the teachers, and they will come back again, and it's a nice word of mouth for you, and it makes people feel happy and comfortable. And yeah, don't be mean. There's no need for it. No need for it. Not in this day and age. There are too many people that are mean to each other. So there you go. That's it. Like I said, thanks for watching. Thanks for taking the time to be here today. And yeah, in the next video, there will be how to organise and sort out your guest room, or how I do it, at least in my guest room, for my teachers that come to me. I'm really looking forward to showing you that, and in that video there might even be a little bonus thing for you. So there you go. Stay safe, have a great day. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed it, give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me some love. Like, yeah, all the good stuff. Bye bye.